You know your week's going bad when the judge says substantially higher and they're not talking about your credit score. Yep, Sean Diddy Combs, once the king of champagne, chart toppers, and luxury yachts, is now facing something far less glamorous. A prison sentence that could stretch way past what his lawyers were hoping for. And no, this isn't about a parking ticket. This is about prostitution charges, bail drama, and a legal game of will he or won't he flee. That has New York buzzing. And let's just say, the soundtrack to this story is less Bad Boy for Life and more Cell Block Tango. Number 1. From not guilty, headlines to not so fast. In early July, Diddy was acquitted of the big-ticket charges racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, the ones that could have landed him in prison for life. His team popped metaphorical champagne. But before the cork even hit the floor, reality checked in. 2 convictions still stood. Both were for transportation to engage in prostitution, meaning prosecutors proved he arranged travel for girlfriends and male sex workers for marathon sexual encounters he filmed. Each count, up to 10 years in prison. And suddenly, that 4 to 5 years estimate prosecutors originally floated just ballooned to something substantially higher. You could feel the optimism in his defense camp deflate faster than a VIP club after the lights turn on. Number 2. Bail. The $50 million question. Diddy's lawyers thought, hey, while we wait for sentencing, let's get our guy out on bail. $50 million should show we're serious. They argued he's not a danger, that he's just a guy who likes a certain swinger's lifestyle, and that this conviction is basically punishing him for his private choices. But prosecutors? Oh, they came loaded. They reminded the court that under the law, this kind of conviction means mandatory detention until sentencing unless there's an exceptional circumstance. And in their eyes, Diddy's case wasn't exceptional. Well, unless you count exceptionally famous. Number 3, the danger to the community card. Here's where things got spicy. Prosecutors flat out called him dangerous, pointing to what they call his extensive history of violence and his continued attempt to minimize recent behavior. Translation: they think he's not only risky, but also not taking the situation seriously enough. His lawyer shot back, painting Diddy as a man reborn, grateful to still have his life, laser focused on being a father to his 7 kids, and far from a violent threat. In other words, Your Honor, the man's not running a crime ring, he's running school carpools. But the prosecution wasn't buying it. Number 4. Life inside the MDC. One of the defense's big talking points was the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, basically. Diddy's current address. They claim the conditions were awful. Lockdowns, bad medical care, the whole 9 yards. But prosecutors had a counterpunch. Actually, things have improved. A federal judge already cracked down on the bad conditions months before Diddy got here. In other words, nice try, but this isn't a dungeon. Still, prison is prison. No VIP suites, no all-white parties. Just you, a cell, and 3 bland meals a day. Number 5. Sentencing. The big unknown. Here's the twist. Sentencing guidelines are just that, guidelines. They're not mandatory. The judge can go lower, or he can go higher. And prosecutors are hinting the substantially higher number they're now considering is based on factors that weren't calculated before. Meanwhile, Diddy's team insists the right math puts him at 21 to 27 months, less than 2.5 years. That's the difference between a blip in a celebrity career and a full-blown headline saga. And with sentencing set for October 3, both sides are loading their cannons. Number 6. The public image tug-of-war. Let's be real, this case isn't just happening in courtroom. It's unfolding in the court of public opinion, too. The prosecution's painting him as a powerful man who abused that power. The defense is pitching him as a flawed but non-violent father fighting to be with his kids. And with his past, the music empire, the glitzy parties, the bad boy legacy, every headline feels like another remix of the same track. Fame, fall, and the fight to rise again. Number 7. What happens if he loses the bail battle for good? If the judge slams the door on bail, that's it. Diddy stays in custody until sentencing. That means every negotiation, every meeting with lawyers, every moment until October happens from behind bars. And for a man used to calling shots from the penthouse, that's a psychological shift you can't auto-tune your way out of. Number 8. The stakes beyond the sentence. This isn't just about how many years he might serve. It's about what's left when he comes out. His music legacy, his business ventures, his family relationships, all of them are in the blast radius. A short sentence could mean a comeback tour. A long one, that could lock away more than just his freedom. Here's the thing about cases like this. The verdict is only the halfway point. The real story is in what happens next and how a man with everything to lose navigates the one arena where fame, money, and past glory mean absolutely nothing. So, will October 3 be the day Diddy breathes relief? Or the day the judge drops a hammer heavy enough to end his empire's final act? We'll find out soon. Until then, remember, justice may be blind, but it's never deaf to the noise outside the courtroom. If you want more sharp, unfiltered breakdowns of the biggest scandals and jaw-dropping headlines, hit that subscribe button. Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me, do you think the judge will go light or make an example out of him?